Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I'll be sharing my thoughts on my trip to Blackpool Pleasure Beach. I'll discuss the e-ticket system, the appearance of the park, staff members, ride operations, and the merchandise on offer. And for those interested, I will link the Pleasure Beach's website down below for you to check out. So let's start off with the Pleasure Beach's e-ticket, which is their relatively new system that they introduced in 2020. I want to start by saying that it's great to see the Pleasure Beach branching out and updating their old wristband system. However, throughout my day, I realised that the e-ticket, although it does have its uses, it also has some flaws, and it's definitely not a flawless system. As part of your electronic ticket, if there's a small group of up to 6 of you going, you have the option to create a group ticket, which means that instead of having to scan each individual's QR code when you enter a ride queue, you'll only scan one QR code for your entire party. The issue with this is, although it is a great idea, the turnstiles don't allow enough time for more than 1 or 2 people to go through when you're using the group QR code. This often leads to staff members having to let each individual person through the turnstiles separately anyway, which essentially makes the group option a little bit pointless and redundant. Another fault I found personally with the electronic ticket system is that the turnstile would often not work, despite the machine scanning the code correctly and saying that me and my party could enter. On a more positive note though, the electronic ticket system is very easy to understand, and if you don't wish to use the electronic ticket system or you're not able to use it on your phone, you can print out your ticket, or you can visit the ticket centre or guest services and ask them to print out a physical ticket for you. The system has also made the entrance process for the Pleasure Beach much better and much easier and quicker, as it means you don't have to collect your wristband before being able to enter the park. But I think maybe what I'd like to see the Pleasure Beach do is to still keep the e-ticket system, but I personally don't think that we should need to scan it at every single ride entrance. I believe that having to scan a ticket, a wristband, or your phone at each ride entrance is a little bit of a waste of time, and it does slow down the queue too. I thought the same about the old wristband system also, to be quite honest. So I think it'll be good for them to just get rid of that part of the system completely. But as mentioned, I'd be happy for them to still keep the e-ticket system as a way of entering the park. Moving on to the appearance of the park now, and the appearance of the park was great. It was in really good condition, it looked fresh, it looked clean and tidy. I saw several staff members walking around picking up rubbish, cleaning tables, things like that. The toilets were also very clean. It is a very special year for the Pleasure Beach. It's their 125th year anniversary. So personally, I would have liked to see more decoration around the park, embracing and affirming that. But really, that's not a complaint, to be honest. It's just a personal preference. I did a video similar to this actually. I think it was back in 2018 when I went to the Pleasure Beach. And I said in that video about the old Space Invader building, which is located kind of on the edge of Nickelodeon land. The old Space Invader building, it's still standing, and it's not really matching the look of the Nickelodeon area of the park. I mean, it's great that they have done something with it, so it's not just like a waste of a building. They do have like a buffet in there now, but I still think that they need to do something else with that building other than just slap on a border around it with the Nickelodeon colours. As to me, it still looks a little bit out of place and it doesn't fit into its surroundings and blend in very well. But to be honest, this is a very minor thing in the grand scheme of things. But really, to be honest, I've got no complaints about the Pleasure Beach and the appearance of it at all. It's just been looking really, really fresh and great these past few years especially, I think. I do want to take a quick moment to discuss the staff members at the Pleasure Beach. Every single staff member I encountered during my visit was very, very polite, helpful, very friendly. I've got no issues with the staff members at all, and I did feel safe throughout my day there in the hands of the staff operating the rides. Speaking of the rides, Ride operations at the Pleasure Beach on my day of visiting were generally very, very good, although I can still say that I'm not a fan of the scattered openings. For example, the ghost train did not open until 12, the park opened that day at 11. A few others were like scattered openings, and yeah, to be honest, you guys, I'm just not a big fan of those at all. But that's, personal preference, that's just me. The flying machines and the big one were both also not operational all day due to high winds, so that's worth mentioning. There were also a couple of smaller rides that were non-operational that day for one reason or another, but generally operations were very good. Most, if not all, of the rides that were operating were only using one ride vehicle, and that, to be honest, did not interfere or impact on the lengths of the queues at all, as the park was very quiet that day. In fact, I waited no more than maybe 10 minutes for any of the rides, and most of them were walk-on, which I love. About 15 minutes before the end of the day, Icon did have technical difficulties which the engineers were unable to resolve, but I'd rode Icon that day about 4 times, maybe 5, and it was really close to the end of the day, so that wasn't really a problem for me. Moving on to merch now, and I continue to be impressed with the variety of merch the Pleasure Beach offer. I do buy most of my merch through their online shop, which you can access through their official website. And to be honest, I'm always very satisfied with their merch offerings. They went through a phase quite a while back now where their merch just wasn't compelling, but they've really increased the quality and variety. And since then, the merch, in my opinion, has only gotten better and better. We did not buy any food or drinks in the park, and we also didn't purchase any ride photographs. So unfortunately, I can't comment on those aspects of the Pleasure Beach. So with all that being said, I think it's best to just leave this video here. In general, I had a great time at the Pleasure Beach. It was great to be back there. It's been a long time since I've been at the Pleasure Beach. It's great to see it still looking just so good, clean, tidy, fresh. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a thumbs up. If you're new here, click on that subscribe button. Have you recently visited Blackpool Pleasure Beach? If so, what were your thoughts? Let me know in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.